Morning students. Today we will study the last part of chapter 8, evidences and theories of biological evolution. After this chapter will be completed, and the unit also, that is the unit 2, which is most important unit in the board exams. The questions are asked frequently from this unit, so this unit will be completed. In the first part of this unit we have studied genetics, their Mendel's law and all that, and the structure of DNA, RNA, transcription, protein synthesis, and many processes of the genetics we have studied. And the second part, origin of life, evolution, and biological theories of the evolution, we have studied. So here the unit 2 is completed. You revise it well and ask your questions. So today we are going to uh, cover the last part of the chapter 8, evidences and theories of biological evolution. So here we will study the mutation and the theories of mutation proposed by the scientist. Then we will study the neo-Darwinism, that is the modern synthetic theory of evolution, and the Hardy-Weinberg principle and the factors affecting the Hardy-Weinberg principle. So what is mutation? As I discussed already in the previous part also, mutation, we have studied the chapter also, that what is mutation, that any heritable change in the genetic makeup of the organism is called as the mutation. Now this term mutation, this is introduced by Hugo de Vries, and he used it for large and suddenly appearing discontinuous variation. Now mutational changes, they occur in the germ plasm of the organisms, that is why they are heritable. So these germ may be in the genes, means these changes may be in the genes or in the number or in the structure of the chromosome. So occurring in the germ plasm, what does it mean? These mutational changes, they may be in the genes or in the number and the structure of the chromosome. Now the first scientific study of a mutation was carried out by the T.H. Morgan in 1910. Mutation theory was proposed by Hugo de Vries when he was carrying out the experiments with the Oenothera lamarckiana, and based on his experiment he proposed the theory. So let me see the various postulates of the that mutation theory. So what are the main postulates? That mutations, they are large and sudden and are completely different from fluctuations and small variations. So mutations are not the small one. According to that de Vries theory, mutations are large and sudden and different from the fluctuations and the small variations. Mutations are heritable. Heritable means they can be transmitted from one generation to another one and give rise to the origin of new species, means responsible for the formation of the new species. Mutations may occur in any direction, not a particular direction, in any direction, and these are subjected to the natural selection also. How? Like the useful mutations are selected by the nature and harmful mutations are eliminated. So these are the postulates of the mutation theory proposed by the de Vries. Now here some differences were there in the Darwin's that view and the view of the de Vries there. So because for Darwin evolution was a slow and gradual process, but for de Vries the main cause of evolution and speciation was sudden, large and abrupt changes in the population, that is the mutation. So this Hugo de Vries, who proposed the mutation theory working on this flower that is known as the evening primrose also, that is the common name, and this Oenothera lamarckiana is the scientific name. So he defined mutation as large heritable change occurring suddenly in the characteristic of a population. According to him, mutation caused speciation. Speciation means what? Formation of the new species, and called it as saltation, means single step large mutation, means the species is formed due to the single step large mutation. So the such single step large mutation that lead to speciation is known as saltation by the Hugo de Vries. And he differed from Darwin in the following ways. Like de Vries mutation are random and directionless, means in any direction they can take. And while the Darwinism variations, they were the small one and the direction in a particular direction. De Vries believed that such large single step mutation that he called as saltation, it causes speciation, that is formation of the new species. But evolution for Darwin is gradual, that is slow, and occurs even over a number of generations. So occurs for the many generations. So these are the views of Darwin and Hugo de Vries about the mutation. Now Darwin's theory was accepted with certain modifications, and these modifications were made by the scientists like Hugo de Vries, E. Haeckel, Huxley, Hendrik, Weismann, and Mendel. So this modified version of the Darwinism is now known as the Neo-Darwinism. It is also referred as the modern synthetic theory of evolution. So what are the important that points of the Neo-Darwinism? That population is the unit of evolution. So in the evolution, the whole that population is involved. So population is the unit of evolution. Then genetic variation. What are genetic variation? The variations are passed on to the next generation. They are known as the heritable or genetic variation, and these variations, they provide the raw material for the evolution. These genetic variations, they come from the following sources. So what are the sources of the genetic variation? They are the mutation. We know the variation in the genes, they are due to mutation, gene recombination, hybridization, genetic drift, and the natural selection. So I will explain you this in short, because again we are going to study these terms in detail. That mutation, you know, any heritable change. Then the gene recombination is there, that the new combinations of the genes. Naturally these combinations are produced by crossing over of genes during the gamete formation, that is recombination. Hybridization, in the sexually reproducing organism, two different genomes of male and female gametes fuse to form the zygote. Yes, male and female gametes, they have different genetic constitution, they fuse and form the zygote, and this process of mixing of two different genomes, that is the hybridization. So it also helps in the rearrangement and alteration in the nature of gene. Then genetic drift. What is genetic drift? It is the change in the frequency of genes. So in a small population, the gene frequency is not constant, and some genes become more frequent while others are reduced in number. So this helps in the production of genetic variation. Then natural selection also you have studied, that the organisms which are better adapted to the environment have better chances of survival. So other organisms which do not adapt themselves according to the changing environment, they become extinct. So this is natural selection. Now what is the role of isolation in the evolution? The role of isolation we will understand. Like, what is isolation first? Isolation is the separation of a group of population from other members of the populations. Okay, separation of a group of population from other members of population by means of some barriers. Barriers may be any water source or any mountain or anything there. Some barriers are there which are separating this population. So the members of the separated group are unable to interbreed with the members of main population. So this separated group cannot go and mix with the main populations. So it is unable to interbreed with the members of main population. So this isolated group gradually becomes different from the members of the population, and thus the new species is formed. So this is the role of isolation in the evolution. Now, origin of new species. Yes, the variations and isolating mechanisms, they help in the gradual modification of the organisms. So slowly modifying organisms over a long period, they become completely different from the original members, and thus the new species is formed. So this is neo-Darwinism. Now we'll study the Hardy-Weinberg principle. What does this principle says? This principle says that under certain conditions of stability, the alleles frequency of a populations are stable and remain constant from generation to generation in sexually reproducing organism. This stability is called genetic equilibrium or Hardy-Weinberg's principle. So this principle says that in a large population, the gene or alleles frequency, alleles, they are the alternative form of the gene. So the gene or allele frequency, they are stable, remain constant from generation to generation, and the gene pool, it remains constant. What is gene pool? The total genes and their alleles in a population, they form the gene pool. So the gene pool remains constant, and this is known as the genetic equilibrium or Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Sum total of all the allelic frequency is 1. So the sum total of all the allelic frequency is 1, and it is represented in the mathematical form, that is p plus q whole square is 1, or p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1. I will explain you how does it come. Now disturbance in the genetic equilibrium is considered as the evolutionary change. So when this genetic equilibrium changes, this value 1, if it changes, then it is considered as the evolutionary change. So what are the factors which disturb this value? So there are 5 factors affects the Hardy-Weinberg principles, that is the gene migration, genetic drift, mutation, recombination and natural selection. So that we will study in the next part. Before that, we will study that Hardy-Weinberg principles there and its equation. So Hardy-Weinberg that equation that we have studied, p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1. What is p? P is the frequency of dominant allele in a population, because what the principle says, that in a large population, the gene frequency or allele frequency, they are remain stable and constant from generation to generation. So what is the P? Frequency of the dominant allele. What is the Q? Frequency of the recessive allele in a population. So this is the formula derived. Now how it was derived? Suppose we have to find out the allelic frequency of gene A, which has 2 alleles, gene that is capital A and small a, we can understand. So this frequency for A and A are P and Q. So frequency of this allele A is P, and frequency of this allele A, small a, that is Q. Now the probability that an allele A with a frequency of P, allele A with the frequency of P on both the chromosome of a diploid individual is simply the product of the probability, that is P square. So in a diploid condition, A individual, it has the frequency P square, you can see here 2 times P. So it is P square. Similarly, the frequency of small a, this allele A, it also will be Q square, and the frequency of AA, this is heterozygous condition, so this frequency of this allele will be PQ. So what will happen? P square plus Q square is equal to 1, or P square plus 2PQ plus Q square is equal to 1. So according to Hardy-Weinberg principle, the sum total of all the allelic frequency for a gene is 1. Understood? This is value p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1. This is a binomial expansion of p plus q whole square. So this is the Hardy-Weinberg principle. Now we are going to study what are the factors which affect the Hardy-Weinberg principles. So these are the factors we are going to study. First, the gene migration. What is the meaning of gene migration? How does it affect the Hardy-Weinberg's equilibrium or principle? So when some individuals of a population migrate to other population, means they go to the other population, or when certain individuals come into a population, in that case the gene frequency of the given population changes definitely. That is, some genes are lost in the first case, because what happened, some individuals, they are migrated to the other one. So here this population will lose some genes because there some members are migrated to another population. But in the other case, when certain individuals come into a population, then what happened, genes are added to the second. So in this case, if the migration occurs a number of times, then gene flow occurs. Understood? So what is gene flow? When migration of a section of population to another place and population occurs, gene frequency change in the original as well as in the new population. क्योंकि क्या होगा, एक population में से एक छोटी population कुछ नंबर ऑर्गेनिज्म दूसरी population में मिक्स हो रहे हैं, या दे आर गोइंग टू माइग्रेटिंग टू द अदर पॉपुलेशन. तो दोनों ही पॉपुलेशन, जिस पॉपुलेशन में से माइग्रेट हो रहे हैं और जिस पॉपुलेशन में वो रिसीव हो रहे हैं, दोनों ही पॉपुलेशन की जो फ्रिक्वेंसी है, जीन फ्रिक्वेंसी है, दैट विल बी चेंज्ड. सो न्यू जीन्स और अलील्स आर एडेड टू द न्यू पॉपुलेशन एंड दे आर लॉस्ट फ्रॉम द ओल्ड पॉपुलेशन. And if this process occurs for multiple times, then it is known as the gene flow. Understood? Gene flow and the gene migration. Now, genetic drift. Now what happens, this gene flow, it means this gene migration, it occurs multiple times, it is the gene flow. But if it occurs suddenly as a matter of chance, the same thing, this gene flow, if it occurs suddenly as a matter of chance, then it is known as the genetic drift. And genetic drift is the that related to this inversely related to the Hardy-Weinberg principle. It is seen usually in a small isolated that population. So genetic drift, random changes in the allelic frequency of a population occurring by chance. So this gene flow, when occurs by chance, then it forms a genetic drift. So random changes in the allelic frequency of a population occurring by chance constitutes a genetic drift. The change in allele frequency may become so drastically different that they form new species. Completely change हो जाएगा gene frequency में, तो एक नई species का formation होगा. And the original drifted population becomes the founder here, and the change in the phenotype and genotype of the progeny constitute the founder effect. This is clear with the microbial experiments where the pre-existing advantageous mutants, they get selected, and over a few generation speciation occurs, because mutant जो है वो select हो जाएंगे advantageous, and they will only further multiply, so the formation of new species will occur. How? Let me understand with the help of these two effects in the genetic drift, founder effect and bottleneck effect. What happens in the founder effect? That when a small fragment of a population become geographically isolated from the main population, this is mother population. From this mother population, when a small segment of a population isolated, then genetic drift occurs rapidly. Sometimes genetic drift is so significant that the new that segment of population becomes very much different from the old population, which leads to the formation of the new species. तो ये new species form करेगा. So the new segment of population becomes very much different from the old population and it leads to the formation of new species, that is speciation. तो ये जो small group separate हुआ है, that will form the new species due to genetic drift. So the original drifted population, it becomes the founder for the coming generations. So this is the founder population at the new place. This effect is known as the founder effect. Now one more example, a change in the gene pool caused by a small population migrating the new area. So here this small fragment of the population isolated from the main population and the genetic drift occurs rapidly, and this new segment of the population becomes very much different from the old population, and this leads to form the new species, that is speciation. And this original drifted population, it becomes the founder for the coming generation. This is known as the founder effect. So understood, children? Now next, bottleneck effect. Now sometimes what happens, species has to face sudden and drastic change in the environment. So whatever changes are taking place in the atmosphere, due to that, as a consequence, most of the individuals die without passing on their genes. तो कोई भी ड्रास्टिक चेंज अगर एटमॉस्फेयर में हुआ, उसके कारण कुछ इंडिविजुअल्स की डेथ हो जाए, so they will die without passing on their genes to their descendants. Then what will happen? The surviving members of this small population, because small members only will be surviving, so surviving members of this small population reproduce again and resulting in the growth of large population in the subsequent generations. But these individuals have now a small gene pool. क्योंकि उस जीन पूल में क्यों रिड्यूस हुआ? क्योंकि उसमें से बहुत सारे मेंबर्स जो हैं उनकी डेथ हो गई ड्रास्टिक चेंजेस के कारण. सो now these individuals have a small gene pool which results in an extraordinary reducing in genetic diversity of the species. Because gene का loss हुआ तो genetic diversity reduce हो जाएगी. Since most of the diversities has been lost at the time of bottleneck, so thus the bottleneck is an example of genetic drift. How? Let me understand with the example. Initial population has the equal frequency of red and yellow alleles. Two alleles are there and these genes are there. Now a chance event here, what is there? Drastic and sudden change in the atmosphere. So a chance event greatly reduces the size of the population. Due to that, what happened? That most of the individuals die. Now the surviving individuals have allele frequency different from those of the original. These are the surviving one. So this surviving one has that different from those original population, different alleles. Now the surviving ones further, they generate a new population with a strong dominance of red over yellow alleles. So here the red alleles are more there, yellow are less because yellow are lost. Understood? So in this individuals have a small gene pool which result in extraordinary reducing the genetic diversity. So we can see loss of these genes here. In this case the loss of genes are there. This is the original one. So here we can see there is loss in the genetic diversity of the species. So most of the diversity has been lost at the time of bottleneck. So thus bottleneck is an example of genetic drift due to genetic erosion in the gene pool of the population. This is the bottleneck effect. Genetic drift can cause big losses of the genetic variation for a small population. Population bottlenecks occur when a population size is reduced for at least one generation, and what founder effect occurs when a new colony is started by the new members of the original population. So these are bottleneck and founder effect. Now mutations, we know we have studied already, random and occurs at a slow rate. and they create considerable genetic variation for speciation to occur, so they also affect the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Recombination also, because new combination of genes occur due to crossing over in meiosis during gametogenesis, it also affects that Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Then we'll come to the natural selection. About that we have studied already. It is most critical evolutionary process that leads to change in the alleles frequency and favors and or the promotes the adaptation as a product of evolution, because the species which is most adapted will be surviving and selected by the nature. So here it leads to change in the allele frequency and favors or promotes adaptation as a product of evolution. And coupled to increase reproductive success, natural selection makes the population look entirely different from the original population, that is speciation, means it causes the formation of the new species. So natural selection operates in different ways. Generally 3 ways are there. So let me study what are the 3 ways. So natural selection process depends on the traits favored and produce one of the 3 following effects. कौन से effects हैं ये? First है stabilizing or stabilization. In this way of natural selection, more individuals acquire mean character value. Such populations are more stable one. So mean character value is acquired by the individuals and variation is much reduced, means variation is less. Here these populations are the most stable one. Then we'll come to the directional changes. Now directional change on natural selection, in this way of natural selection in which more individuals acquire value other than the mean character value, this type of natural selection lead to the स्पीसीएशन, मतलब इसमें डायरेक्शनल चेंज में नई स्पीशीज़ का फॉर्मेशन होगा. क्यों? क्योंकि जो ज़्यादातर इंडिविजुअल्स हैं दे एक्वायर वैल्यू अदर देन द मीन कैरेक्टर वैल्यू. डेफिनेटली वेरिएशन होगा, क्योंकि अगर मीन कैरेक्टर वैल्यू ही रहेगी तो देर विल बी नो वेरिएशन, सो नो स्पीशीज फॉर्मेशन. देन थर्ड इज द डिसरप्टिव और डिसरप्शन. इन दिस मोर इंडिविजुअल्स एक्वायर पेरिफेरल कैरेक्टर वैल्यू at both ends of the distribution curve. So more individuals acquire peripheral value at both ends of the distribution curve. Now let me understand here. This is the normal population showing the normal population, and these 3 are there. I'll show you this in detail in the next diagram. Here directional selection, stabilizing and the disruptive. Now the directional selection, as I said you, the more individuals acquire value other than the mean character. So here 3 values are there. Here the mean value, here the long and short, these are the extreme value. Now in directional, more individuals acquire value other than the mean character. So here this is the selection against one that extreme, means one extreme trait is being selected. This is against the other extreme trait. So here we are going to study that formation of the new species when more individuals acquire value other than the mean character. So let me see, one example is given here, that long wiggly tails look like a snake and scare predators in the lizards. So the longer the tail, the more it looks like a snake. So here one extreme trait is being selected against the other extreme. Understood? This is directional selection. Then stabilizing selection is there when more individuals acquire mean character value. This is the mean character value. So for example, it actually for moderate, it is for extreme trait, one extreme trait is being selected. Here moderate traits are there. So here it is against both the extreme will not neither short nor long. Here it is shifted towards the long. तो एक्सट्रीम, एक एक्सट्रीम का सिलेक्शन हो गया यहाँ पर, स्पीशीज का फॉर्मेशन हुआ डायरेक्शनल में. बट यहाँ पर क्या होगा, मॉडरेट ट्रेड्स के लिए है और दोनों एक्सट्रीम का सिलेक्शन नहीं होगा. दिस इज स्टेबलाइजिंग सिलेक्शन वन. So here you can see that here the short tails and the long tails both are there. So short tails they mess up the cat's balance and long tails drag on the ground. So medium tails are the best one. So here the individuals they acquire the mean character value and these populations are the most stable one. That is why the stabilizing selection. Then we will come to the disruptive. Disruptive a way of natural selection here where more individuals acquire peripheral character. Here you can see peripheral character, no mean value is there at both the ends of distribution curve. So it is for both extremes against moderate traits. Understood children? For example, short tails help keep predators from catching this animal on the ground, while the long tails are good for balancing the trees. So short tails they are also beneficial here and the long tails are also beneficial, and medium tails don't help. So both the extremes are selected. It is against the moderate traits. This is disruptive selection where more individuals acquire peripheral character value at both the ends of the distribution curve. So understood children? Directional selection where more individual acquire value other than the mean character value. This actually leads to the formation. This is original population and the population after selection. So it is shifted from the mean value. This is medium mean value. So shift हो जाएगा in a particular direction. That is why it is directional. And here the formation, this is original population and this is the population after selection. So here the formation of a new species occurs. Means there is selection for the one extreme trait. Stabilizing means where more individuals acquire mean character value. They are stable one. Disruptive in which more individuals acquire peripheral character value at both the ends of disruptive curve. So students, in this way this natural selection and these curves are completed here. Species stabilization. Now we are going to see the key terms which we have studied: mutation, neo-Darwinism, Hardy-Weinberg's principle, gene migration, genetic drift, founder effect, bottleneck effect. So and the natural selection we have studied here, and the types of natural selection also we have done. So students, you revise all these topics from the book also and ask your doubts and get ready for the next that class test of the chapter 7, first origin of a species, and after that next week there will be test of the chapter 8 also. So revise and ask your doubts.